I have personally had a very good week, boys. I don't mean to rub it in, but I've had a great week. Starting from like Thursday, or last Thursday, all the way to now. It's been a pretty steady, great week. Aside from feeling a little under the weather, I've been good. Gio got to go camping, which is great. He's back now, unfortunately, so he's ruining everything. But there was that, and then we recorded the podcast. I think we got a stream in last week too, if I remember correctly. Believe so. And then on Saturday we got to play D&D. Now I haven't played D&D in a while, so I was a little unsure of how it was going to go. I was a little nervous, I won't lie, because I was still trying to figure some stuff out with this character that I came up with. And the session went great. I had a lot of fun. Ty was there. Crit was there, a couple of their friends were there too, so it was a lot of fun. I had a good time. I didn't get to do very much because I was like introduced towards the tail end of the session. I think like maybe the last hour. Didn't go on as long as I was expecting too. I was expecting it to go way later, so when it ended I was kind of sad. But I get to play as my character Edoles Dolio, and he is a robot man who has been brought back to life by some arcane magic. And he's a little goofball because he has the brain of like an 8-year-old child. Not a literal brain, but he's got the mind of a child. So he asks a lot of stupid questions, and that whole experience was great. I was even technically in the combat encounter, but I didn't get to do anything. I did. I got to hit somebody and do no damage, so that was kind of fun. Okay. But that's it. And then I got a great dialogue encounter afterwards, and it was really wholesome, and I had a great time. And I'm thinking about already customizing this character because I like him so much. So I had a lot of fun. I want to thank Ty and those guys for letting me join because it was really, really fun. And hopefully we get to continue that session again very soon because I'm ready. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to get going. I was having a great time.
We're planning session 2 this weekend, so.
Oh, dope.
We're not doing session 2 this weekend. We're planning it.
Okay.
Next weekend we'll do it.
I got a little excited. I could bring myself back a little bit.
Yeah, no, you did great. I was very proud of you. Everybody loved your character, so.
Everyone was sending gifts in the chat when I was doing stuff, and they were like, "It's so wholesome, AF," and I was like, "Yeah, baby, that's how you know it's a good thing." So it was very wholesome.
It was beautiful. I had so much fun. Mm-hmm. All right, well, welcome to the All Things Geek podcast, everybody. My name is Tyler, also known as Bionic Kasai, joined by the man whose name starts with a B.
That's Braden, or Renzolian.
And the man whose name starts with a T.
I'm Thatcher McIntosh, fellas. What's up?
Yeah, he's got a lava lamp on. He's big lava.
He actually has like a fitting nerd background this time.
True.
Look at him go.
At long last.
It's really nice.
The exact same circle shelf that Braden has, which is very strange.
He got it from me. He saw it.
Yeah,
did he?
I did.
That's weird.
I didn't get it from him, but I stole it. Like, I was like, "Mom, get me this for Christmas." It's right here. I can't show it, but it's right here, and it displays all my characters very proudly.
You're like
I have 3 of them.
I am a clone. I literally steal everything he's ever done. I take all of his credit.
He's the rejected clone from the clone
shop. He really is.
I'm like one of those. Yeah, I'm not good. They mixed me in with a bad batch of water or something.
Yeah, you're in the bad batch, dude. That's
I am part of the bad batch. It's true, but I'm not one of the cool ones. I'm like Wrecker if he wasn't strong.
You're the coolest one.
Who's the coolest bad batch character? Hunter?
I don't know.
Definitely Omega.
Yeah, people love Omega here.
Everyone talks about how much of a badass she is all
People
the time.
always go, dude, Star Wars is bad nowadays, but Omega? Let's talk about her.
She's badass.
Excuse you, boys. Omega. Her name is pronounced Omega.
Oh, sorry, it's Omega.
Yeah, and it's Hunter and Rekka.
Sorry, I forgot. It's pronounced Alpha and Omega. I forgot about that. Apologies.
All right.
You're not forgiven.
Okay. We got some crazy stuff going on. It's New York Comic Con.
Fortunately.
this weekend. Unfortunately for...
Well, it's hard to keep track of everything because it's currently going on right now. So
Yes, it is. So there will be some more news that we will have to cover next week because there's still 2 more days of the con. And
swing
there's
back
supposed to
around.
be stuff happening later today as well.
Yeah.
But we got a bunch of news so far, mostly from yesterday. But before that, there was the tease of a new studio called Battle Horse Studio, which has some action figures that they showed off. But most importantly for Braden and I, they showed off some delicious-looking goblins.
yes, they did, man. Oh wow, it's been a long time since we've gotten some godforsaken good goblins.
Mm-hmm. This has been
Definitely
like
not stalling right now. There we go.
a quest of ours for a couple years now.
Yes. So nobody wants to make decent looking goblins without wangs hanging out or something. Like,
yeah, because
it's
thanks
a
to
real-
thanks to fucking Goblin Slayer, where the goblins just people
okay,
constantly.
we're gonna have to cut that.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's real.
I know. I just don't know if I can say that.
I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know.
It's an anime that has
It's
ruined
yeah.
the concept of goblins in pop culture.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, so is that, yeah, but nobody really wants to make goblins. The closest thing that we've kind of gotten are mythic legions, but they're way too big. And plunderlings are goblin-esque, but they're not really, they're too cartoony. So this is an honest-to-God 1/12 scale goblin. I hope they're short. I really hope they're short.
Yeah.
I feel these are probably going to be closer to like 4 inches. I could see them being a bit larger. I don't see them being super small. But most goblins are 3.5 feet anyways, so it'd probably be
Something like that.
yeah, 3 to 4 to maybe even 5 inches, which I hope they're not that big, but I want them to be small because I've been looking for some good goblins for a while. Because one of my D&D characters is a goblin, Kegsley Gurklin, and I love Kegsley. I want to make a custom of him, but there's no freaking good goblin fodder out there. So.
Yeah. I believe in the original photo you can see a bit more of the figure off to the side, which I think is a 6-inch female figure.
Oh, right.
So they're like up to her elbow, I think.
Gotcha. Faces look great though. You can see there's like some smiling ones. There's one with that tongue hanging out. Yeah, it's great. We need more companies to get on the goblin train because we need a lot more.
There is another one, but they seem to be from like Memory Toys or Medi Toys or something like that.
They're longer.
Yeah, they seem to be taller. Because I believe they're World of Warcraft based.
Gotcha. Yeah, they're fun, but they're a little skinny. They're a little skinny for my liking. I kind of prefer my goblins a little, like, short and round. These guys are a little bit longer than I would personally like.
But so we're getting some options. Hopefully, either of these come to fruition at some point. But I mean the whatchamacallit, I forget the name of the line. The Battle Horse Studio Goblins. They give me very strong Baldur's Gate 3 vibes. Just
with the hair, yeah, and the armor
hair and the outfits. So
yeah, they look like yeah.
But moving on, McFarlane's doing his usual goddamn shenanigans.
Buffoonery, you could say.
So there's this anime movie coming out it's in the Lord of the Rings franchise, and it's the Battle of the War of the Rohirrim, and they're doing a stupid, dumb, ugly 4-inch action figure line for it, with just the worst looking figures possible. And then, also, at the same time, they're doing a big cardboard playset castle that's 7 feet long.
We need to emphasize how cardboard it is, because you might be thinking, oh, it doesn't. You could see the cardboard, like it is.
Yeah, it's the most cardboard-ass cardboard that ever cardboarded.
You gotta send it, Ty. I'm excited. There it is. There she is.
Like,
I assume you have to assemble. I assume you have to assemble this yourself. Yeah.
Look at the figures on it.
You have to assemble it.
Oh my! Look at the figures on it, dude.
They're goofy.
awful with the figures are bad, but they're making the cardboard
They
look
look too big for this. Like they clearly, I don't think they scaled this properly.
Yeah.
It looks wrong.
It's really
How much is it?
dumb. It's like $30.
That's the catch. It's $35. So at least
it's not gonna last. It's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
it's dirt
You're
cheap.
gonna put it outside and play with it on the freaking like dew grass, so it's just gonna get immediately.
Yeah,
wet.
let me take an hour assembling this because it's 7 feet long and it's gonna take forever to put it together.
Yeah.
And then it rains. I have to bring it all in now. Like it's just where are you gonna put this in your
bring
home?
It in, and the cat pisses on it or something.
Yeah, the cat
Or
eats it. Pisses
the
on
cat
it.
jumps on it like cats do, and then just goes through it.
It seems to me like they're trying to capture that like extreme Dio set market, but this is not. This is so cheap that it doesn't even. No, it's very bizarre. It's just McFarlane doing whatever they want because they just keep doing random crap, and it baffles me every single time. But
Yep. And just
bizarre.
the stupid ass 4-inch figures make me so angry because if they were like 7-inch figures, they might actually be useful for something.
Yeah.
But no.
Nope. They're weird
You
baby.
You don't like Santa Claus over there? You don't like him?
That is Odin
No,
Santa.
I don't need a little
having
stupid 4-inch baby Santa.
baby Santa.
Fred,
Yeah.
you like that big. You like that big ogre guy though, right? You
The
got
Bath, the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah,
epic...
that massive ogre who's like maybe 5, 6 inches.
You like him, Braden?
No.
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 But McFarlane did some other stuff this week aside from this garbage.
Bunch of DC stuff, but for one in particular,
Yeah.
seems to be of interest.
This one is I don't care about McFarlane, man. They just every once in a while do like an okay figure.
That's a great segue.
Uh-huh.
I don't care, man.
They're just the worst. And they're doing
So bad.
I was so hopeful after they did all they did all these shit Batman movies. They did waves for all these shit Batman movies, and I was like, oh great, we're gonna get a Batman Returns wave, and they went psych, and they did a Batman v Superman wave instead, and I'm why would you do that? Why? It's like they were going back, and then they just okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're doing finally, and again, it's McFarlane, so it takes like 5 years to do the most obvious thing ever, But they're doing a Christopher Reeve like deluxe figure for $30. He's got like a bajillion hands or whatever, and the cloth cape, and they're doing him finally. Again, I feel like this should have happened 3 years ago, but whatever, And all things considered, he's pretty good. Like he gets the job done. He doesn't. There's nothing egregiously ugly or annoying about him, which is the best case scenario for McFarlane. That there's nothing egregiously ugly or annoying. The hands, some people are saying they're okay size. I need to like see them on the figure in person to know. The likeness looks pretty good. The cape's good. It's a new sculpt from what I can tell for him, so that's cool. The only thing that people have noted is really annoying is they gave him cuffs for some reason, which he just doesn't have. He doesn't have cuffs on his wrists, but they gave it to him. So, they could have just not. I feel like it would have been easier to
cuffs, not. But then still blue wrist hinges as well.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
which is bizarre because he shouldn't have. It's just like a line. Like it's not like I don't know. It's the simplest costume ever. You don't need to complicate it.
There's texture on his boots too. Is that accurate to the movie?
Probably.
There's like some lines.
They're probably like crappy leather or something. It was it was like the 70s. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
But maybe not. But it's not. I didn't even notice that until you pointed out. But
yeah,
his cape looks like a washcloth.
Or like yeah. I mean,
at least it's wired, right? They're stepping in the right direction.
And at least it's not a big nasty plastic. I hate that. Like those things are so annoying. I'm so annoyed with plastic capes. Now, once you don't have plastic capes, it's like you can't go back.
Once you're used to the cloth, that you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets the job done, and he looks pretty good. So if he's not a figure, I'm gonna go out of my way to order. But if I go to the store and he's just on the shelf, I might grab him maybe.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of bizarre choices, Mezco showed off a 1/12 Collective Samurai Jack figure.
Isn't that odd to say?
It's so
Uh,
strange.
Yeah, you never know. You figure out Mezco. You're like, all right, they do realistic little guys with soft
Mm-hmm.
goods. No, let's do a super cartoony Samurai
Yeah.
Jack for some reason.
Like
Why?
they did Popeye and it made him realistic
Yeah, they
looking.
should have done the same thing with this. I don't know
It's
why
just
they
so
haven't gone
strange.
back to that idea. Like, it's really bizarre. Uh, very strange. I thought it
His
was a joke.
proportions, his proportions really bother me because it looks like they took a normal guy and then
Yeah.
put the cartoon head on him and then gave him big hands. But
Yep.
like the way his shoulders and the fabric lays around his shoulders and his arms and his waist, it looks like a normal guy. It looks like a dude in a bathrobe. It doesn't look like a cartoon character,
Yeah,
you know?
it's
It'll
weird.
probably
It's
yeah.
very
It
strange.
it seems like big head, neck, big hands, and then big feet. Probably that's probably
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
Very odd. I don't know what I don't know if Adult Swim was like make a Samurai Jack, and they're like okay,
How
or if I don't know
weird.
if they aggressively pursued this. I have no idea.
Samurai Jack is like cool, and that was a good show, and they brought it back, and people are like on the fence if they like it or not or whatever.
Yeah,
Uh, Nobody's talked about it in like 5 years. Like I
yeah.
don't. It's just really strange.
Very
So
odd
weird.
for them to randomly drop out of nowhere. It's just a very strange decision, but it exists, I guess.
Yeah. They also
Samuel
showed
Jack.
off Hugh Jackman Wolverine
Yes.
from Deadpool.
Yes, they did, and he looks like Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine, kind of. The face does
Mm.
look a little weird. He looks a
The
little
face
like a
looks terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got like
He's got like a dog like
He looks like a
frown.
completely different human being.
he looks
I
like
didn't. From far away, I was like, "Oh, that's a pretty good likeness." And then I zoomed in, I'm like, "Oh no."
he looks like a
Yeah.
scary guy you'd see outside of like a gas station or something. He doesn't.
These are
looks
the
like-
customers I see
He
at
looks
work all
like
the time.
generic British thug in a movie.
He
Yeah,
does. He really does. I feel like his forehead's too
He'd be
big.
like,
I don't
"Oi,
know.
mate, I'm gonna rough you up."
The suit and everything looks fine.
It's fine, sure.
Yeah, but everything
it's
else-
just a lot of printed details on fabric, though.
it is. Which means a lot of it's going to come off. A lot of it's going to probably not
Yeah.
hold the test of time, which is a problem for Mezco.
Mezco's a fucking weird thing, man.
They do things that make sense, and then they go, no, let's make Samurai Jack. So I don't know what their deal is, but you know what? It sells. People buy this stuff, so
They do. They sell like hotcakes.
they do.
Moving on to a more competent company, NECA showed off some new Universal Monsters stuff, apparently.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'll send these
Yeah.
here.
So one of these we knew was coming. The other one was a surprise to me. They might have announced it earlier. I've been super out of the loop, but so I actually skipped out on. Okay, so it's Invisible Man and it's the Mummy, but when he's like not a mummy.
When he's
so
hot.
so I skipped out on yeah, hot. I skipped out on the last Invisible Man because I'm like, if you're gonna make the Invisible Man, why don't you make the bathrobe pajama one? That is the best one. That's the most iconic one. I went to Universal Halloween Horror Nights, and the scare actor was dressed in a freaking bathrobe. It's funny, and that's good. Invisible Man is a freaking comedy. You know, it's the one that Jada Toys did. It's the more iconic look, and it's less generic as well. You know, it's not just a generic, 1930s
Guy in
suit.
suit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I much prefer this one, and I'm really happy about it. And I'm like absolutely 100% gonna get this. This is what I've been waiting for Invisible Man. Like
Mhm.
I'm 100% very excited. And the accessories are good, and the head, he's got the little spectacles on him. Very happy. So that's everything I wanted out of that. And then the other one is normal mummy. Yeah, when he's hot. So this figure is cool, and I like him. I'm not gonna get him. I'm surprised they're doing it. I guess it's kind of iconic, but it's weird and a little problematic. But I don't know. It's interesting that they decided to do this. So I'm not gonna get it. I'm okay with getting the normal one. But it's interesting they did it. So that's all my thoughts are on that guy.
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting. Next up,
Speaking of monsters,
the best company around right now. Let's be honest, Jada Toys.
yes, sir.
showed
They,
off
yeah.
some just genius level picks.
They did. So we got update on the Scooby line. We could see the packaging, and that packaging, oh, yes. It tingles the nostalgia wave there.
These rock. These rock.
They do.
I'm so excited. Also, I'm so happy because Jada Toys was gonna do a mummy and then they canceled it. And the first fucking Scooby-Doo monster they do is a mummy, and I'm so happy about that. That feels
The creeper.
it feels like an offering to me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And
so
Scoob.
we did learn that this line's not coming to Walmart or Target. It's just going to be online retailers.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Like the Mega Man line.
Interesting.
But yeah, they showed off Scooby-Doo, who is the main character for the second wave. And I mean, he looks fantastic. He's got all the articulation that
That's what I've been waiting for, man. We need Shaggy and
he's the second
Scoob.
wave? He's the hero.
Because I think first wave is Shaggy, Creeper, and Mummy. I think that's the first wave. And then we don't know what the rest of the second wave is, but I assume it's gonna be Scoob and then two other monsters, which
probably
is what it is. I'm so happy.
Well,
I was waiting for
they've
Scoob.
already said that. Yes, that is what the wave is.
Okay, cool.
That's what every
that's
wave is
like
going to be.
Like the best possible way you could do a Scooby-Doo 6-inch figure, right? I can't imagine.
Yep. No, he's fantastic looking. I need him and Shaggy. I don't even need the monsters. If I just get them two, I'm happy. I'm good. I'm set for life.
Yeah, they look fantastic together.
That's really all I need. They look so good. And, well, aside from this, Jada's also being kind of funny. They're being kind of a little crazy this weekend because they announced not a new line. Surprisingly not. They are doing continuation of the cereal line.
They're they're food mascots.
Right. With freaking Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble from goddamn Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles, which is just the best way to tackle it. I don't like.
Just fucking genius, by the way.
When you think, it's
So
genius.
smart.
But when you think about lines that Jada would be all in, this is definitely one that they would absolutely tackle. I don't know if it means that they're doing any other Flintstones characters or if that's going to become its own line. No idea.
June said we'll see.
Okay. So this is more of just to like test the waters and see if there's like an interest there or something.
Well, this is the cereal mascot line.
Gotcha.
So that would be having to start a whole new line.
Right.
Do that.
Yeah. Have a critique.
Well, what's your critique?
This is not on Jada. This is on the design because I never realized this.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like that they have.
I know what you're
toes.
saying. Yeah, their toes really
Didn't they
scary.
have 4 toes, right?
It's really
I
upsetting.
don't think
Because
so.
they've got 4 fingers. They've got a thumb and 3 other fingers. Why would they have 2 less toes?
Let me see.
like-
let's fact check.
That is bizarre.
It looks really
Flintstone.
weird. It's freaking me out.
Does Barney have
3 toes?
Yeah, it's creepy. It's
That's
really
not
scary.
good. I hate that. I really
Maybe
don't.
maybe he lost it. Maybe they lost their toes in the war.
I think they're,
Nah,
I'm just gonna say they're cavemen and they're like
they're
earlier.
just subhuman freaks.
They are. Well, look at them. They are freaks, anyways. I noticed that too, and I didn't. Oh my god, I noticed that too, and I didn't say anything. Because I thought that was just like something that everyone knew, and I was like, okay, like this is a world that I have to accept. But I'm so glad you brought it up, Pat.
I never thought about it once.
That is hell. That is pure hell. It is scary.
They look like aliens. It's not right.
They are aliens.
They should have 4 toes. That doesn't make any sense.
Yabba dabba do.
I got no toes, Wilma. Where my toes at?
Just so fun.
Yes.
Also, apparently the mascot line or the food mascot line is going to be coming to Target. So
Okay.
Oh,
That's
what?
pretty
But
cool.
Scooby-Doo can't? Are you kidding me?
I guess Scoob doesn't have as big of a mass market appeal anymore.
Screw that. Damn it.
Which is good, which means we'll be able to get Tony. You can go to Walmart and get yourself a Tony Tiger.
I'm not doing
You
that.
know?
They didn't say Walmart. They only said Target.
Target. Sorry, I thought you said Mass
No.
retail.
No.
Gotcha. Okay. So go to Target, get yourself a Tony Tiger,
In
and a
few
Fred
months'
Flintstone.
time, maybe.
4 years from now.
Yeah, it's taken 10 months to get Mega Man Wave 2 on the water, so.
That's the problem. That's the biggest problem with Jada is like I love them, but they take way too.
So
Look, it's quality.
Fucking
Quality.
slow.
It's quality. You're waiting for the quality. I get it. At the same time, it's a little annoying. It's a little aggravating.
But like, give me my Mega Man figures though, please.
Well, they gotta make sure they're good, Ty. You know, they can't just shit you off.
Can't take that long. Half of them have the same body, which is not bad. But come on now.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah. Anyways,
at least they said that the Mega Man Wave 2 is on the water. It's on the way.
On the water. As long as pirates don't come raid it, we'll be fine.
Saying on the water.
Maybe I'll you know. Well, it's like it's on a boat being brought.
A giant
It's
boat.
literally on the water.
Literally, I thought it was like a cool metaphor.
No.
Metaphor.
It's not a metaphor.
Euphemism.
If any pirates attack it, it'll be me and my hardy crew.
you and your the Thai pirates rolling up.
The
Dude, Thai
tyrants,
pirates
you
rocks.
might say.
Okay.
Pirates. There you go. There you go.
Okay. Next up, SH Figure Arts. Last week, or no, within the span of a few days, they teased and then revealed Tsunade from the Naruto line, which I'm very excited about because it's finally a character that I have experience with from the show.
Oh, we know why you're excited.
No, shut the fuck up. She looks fantastic. I had kind of built it up in my head that she was gonna have like a soft goods jacket, but
I don't know why they never really done that
because they literally have done that.
Sorry, I'm thinking of. Oh, right, it is a full jacket. Gotcha. I was confused why you said that because I was thinking of Minato's jacket, but they did.
Minato has a full jacket as well.
No, he's got, but it's plastic. So.
Yes, I know, but
yeah.
I was hoping they would do soft goods because they did that for Makima and they did that for Itachi and Pain.
Yeah.
But no. But oh well. She looks really good. I'm excited. And she comes with the weird, unheadbanded, like giggling face for Naruto.
He's having a good time. He's blushing.
Yeah. Super, super fun.
Hey, Ty,
very excited. She looks great. Hey, it's the blue boo.
Blue boo.
Blue boo.
Blue boo. Blue boo.
I didn't mean to distract. I apologize. I just found him and I was like, oh.
No
You're unforgiven, but that's okay.
You're unforgiven.
So I was forgiven, and then you recanted.
Now you're not. Yeah.
Your forgiveness has been revoked.
That's awesome.
You are unforgiven.
Moving on, you got some One Piece news for us, Brad?
I do have some news to talk about in regards to certain things. I know everyone here is going to be really excited to hear about all this.
I already know it.
Oh yeah, you just go off on your own, don't you? You go off on your own, little discovery boy. Anywho, so the first major announcement is that the One Piece anime will be taking a 6-month break to improve animation quality, is what they are mostly focused on. The last couple episodes they've released have been absolute bangers. They're insane. I haven't actually watched them all the way through, but people are losing their goddamn mind about them. And then I think they really want to continue to push out that quality and be consistent. It's a weekly anime, man. There's no way it should be this consistent with how they're working on these episodes months in advance. Like, they're going crazy. That's why certain episodes have been a little cheaper. And if One Piece wanted to become a seasoned anime, I'd be all for it. I'd be 100% all for it.
Well, that's what the speculation is right now, that it won't come back as weekly.
Right. At that rate, they're going to take a very long time to finish the series, but that's okay. But also, why do that if you're also going to then do the remake? It's a little interesting. Speaking of remakes, to fill the gap in between that 6-month break, they are also doing a remake or a remaster of the Fishman Island arc, which originally, as it was 57 episodes. It basically is the the post time skip, the start of the post time skip. That's where it starts. 57 episodes. It is being trimmed down to 21 episodes, which is just fantastic.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So the core One Piece anime is remaking an arc in that?
Yes.
So there is a separate remake One Piece anime coming out.
Yes.
So,
that will.
So there's the original stretch of One Piece, then there's the time skip, then there's post time skip. The normal anime of One Piece is taking a break, and while they're on break, they're going to re-edit and redo the first arc post time skip. The remake anime called The One Piece is doing the start of the original series and going from there. So what it seems like is The One Piece probably won't do anything post time skip.
Maybe.
Okay,
If they're going to be recutting everything after that from the original.
I think the whole point, is that they want to go back to the old animation and tidy it all up because it is, it aired 20 years ago. So I think that's the whole appeal of why they want to remake it in the first place.
It's possible we could live in a world where there are 4 separate adaptations of that arc.
If
there would be
live action gets that far, we will get 5.
5. Oh my god. Jeez.
We will have 5 Fishman Islands if live action ever, which they won't. But if they ever did, then there you go. You got 5 adaptations of Fishman Island, including the manga, which is insane. So that's a bit ridiculous. But I will say Fishman Island is a rough looking arc. It came out 2012. It's really rough to look at. The characters are off model constantly. Though I will say, from the clips that I've seen, it doesn't seem like they're going back from the ground up. Well, I know they've said this, but if you watch the clips and how everything plays out, it almost seems like it's like layered over. Like all the movements and stuff are exactly the same. So I wonder if they're just kind of tracing over everything and like giving it a fresh new coat of paint. I don't know specifically. I've heard that they are going back and completely redoing it, but from the clips I've seen, they are copying like the camera movement.
Sounded like to me it was they're editing it down and then they're reanimating some of it.
Okay, that makes sense. Because what I have seen is it like literally looks like the exact same shot, but like redone. So, which is good. Totally cool with that. Totally fine with that. I like that arc, but it is brutal to sit through. It has some of the worst stuff in the entire series in it, which I'm not looking forward to. My boy Sanji has it rough that arc. He has a hard time that arc.
Gives it rough, more like.
Yeah. But so that's really exciting. And then the last final piece, or not the last final piece of news, I should also mention that the One Piece manga is currently on a 2-week break as well. So One Piece is just getting shafted right now, which is totally fine because I'd rather they take time. I haven't been keeping up with the chapters, as you guys may have noticed, because I don't really know what's fully happening right now. It's a little confusing, and I'm kind of losing steam of it all. They have introduced Loki. He looks awesome. Yes, Loki's going to probably be the main villain in the next arc, which is pretty cool. He's huge. Yeah. No, he doesn't look anything like that Loki. The only similarity, he's got big horns. That's it. I'll see if I can find a picture later. But the last major thing I want to mention that is worth noting is that there is a special episode coming out, and it's about like regular characters in the One Piece world that like look up to the Straw Hat Pirates. So it's like a side story, and it's being directed by Megumi Ishitani. I apologize if I butchered that. She is responsible for directing my favorite episode of the entire series. So that's a big hype moment. That's awesome. So that's really cool. I've always wanted them to do side story stuff, so this is really awesome, and I'm really excited for it. I hope it's good. I don't know if it'll be, because I feel like they're going to rush some things, because I think it's only like a 30-minute episode, so I do kind of worry about that, but it's going to look beautiful. It's very well animated, and there's a couple clips, and it looks fantastic. So that's all I have to say.
It's not going to be like super deep or anything. It's just going to be like surface level.
Yeah, for sure. But it's still cool. This is the type of filler that they should do. They should do official things that exist. Because I think this is based off a book, if I'm not mistaken. I would rather they do that instead of just make up their own crap for filler. But they never do this for some reason. This is an unprecedented thing. So very glad about that. But yeah.
We'll talk about it next week, but Sentinel was revealed.
Who?
We'll talk about it next week, but the Sentinel was revealed.
The
Okay.
Sentinel?
Mm-hmm.
But Marvel. Gotcha. I was like, what?
Oh, hold on. Brayden, keep talking about One Piece for 2 more minutes while I look at this, because
I have nothing more to talk about. It's nothing. I just ran out of points.
Pokemon time.
I really like One Piece.
Sentinel looks like the shitty one they made for the normal one, except with articulation. That's funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna close the door. So
It's gonna get crazy.
I'm gonna tell a twisted tale of woe and misery and confusion.
Yes.
But I have always been fascinated with leaks of companies that usually keep their shit under wraps, and they get their dirty little underbelly leaked because it reminds us that they're normal people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The first great instance of this in my lifetime was the iconic Sony leak, because Sony made a movie they probably shouldn't have, and they got in big trouble, and they got leaked. And honestly, that leak was probably vicariously responsible for Spider-Man being in the MCU in a way, which is a whole can of worms I don't want to answer right. I don't want to get into right now, but that kind of started this, you know, because you see those emails, you see these interactions, and you're like, wow, these people are idiots, you know. And then another great instance of that happening recently was the Nintendo Giga leak, which of course caused the source code for Mario 64 to leak, which resulted in L actually being real and them finding a Luigi model for Luigi in Mario 64 in the source code of the game. That was 4 years ago. That was a big moment. There's a fun little video that's like a minute long. It's just called L is Real. Highly recommend you watch it if you like Mario. Yeah. And now we have been introduced to the Pokemon Teraleak. And so lots of things have leaked. Lots of Pokemon fans have. It's kind of rocking the Pokemon community like to its core, from what I've seen. I'm not a major Pokemon fan. I played one of the games, 2 of them. But it is the most successful franchise in the world financially. So it's interesting when these things happen. So to clarify, Game Freak, because Pokemon's so big, it's in 3 companies. Game Freak, the developers of the Pokemon games, their information got leaked. Not Nintendo and not the Pokemon company, Game Freak, right? So there's a lot that came out. Essentially what's been happening is the source code for every single Pokemon generation is getting leaked, which is insane. So it started with, Heart Gold, so Silver, and then it moved on to Black and White and Diamond Pearl and all that stuff. And they just did X and Y, and then Omega Ruby. All that's leaking. And so what people are discovering, though, is a bunch of information beyond just those games. They've released like other stuff. Like, for example, we learned that they were working on a Detective Pikachu 2 that was going to be directed by the Kong Skull Island guy called The Great Detective Pikachu. That was supposed to come out this year. I don't know what happened to that. And then that was going to lead.
And a Netflix
that was going to lead.
As I've heard.
Yep, there's a live-action Netflix series currently in development. They were going to do a 3rd movie. They were going to turn Detective Pikachu into a trilogy. The 3rd movie was just called Game Boy. I don't know. And then there's obviously the Netflix live action that is maybe happening. There's a lot of really weird stuff going on there. There's like concept art and everything. There's been some information about the next Pokemon generation, whatever. I don't care about any of that. The more interesting stuff to me that I think is worth talking about is the lore and the internal lore that they have within the company that we are not supposed to see. And I think that's fascinating. Like, for example, the Pokemon lore Bible of the origin of the Pokemon universe leaked. Like, there is a step-by-step Genesis-style document outlining the birth of the Pokemon universe. It was an egg that was called, like, or something, and the egg cracks, and all of the pieces of the shell turn into, like, titans, and then they all fight. It's nuts. It's batshit. But it's like, this has been their internal lore circulating for the last like 20 years, and it all ties to Arceus and all that. It all like connects, and it's all essentially canon, but we just didn't know. You know what I mean?
Like some Adventure Time.
That's fascinating. It's crazy. I want to send it to Ty because Ty like he
hates
I don't
Pokemon.
know. I feel like
So he'd be sitting there going,
what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, they have like a document that outlines all the different Pokemon legendaries as if they're like deities, and they have them all diagrammed out as like demigods and gods. It's nuts, dude. I'm telling you. Anyway,
Like the hierarchy of the pantheon.
Yes, there's like a diagram. Yes,
Weird.
It's nuts. It's so weird. You know what's funny? Motherfucking Celebi is on the outskirt. That guy don't matter. That dude is nothing.
That bitch got a movie. Get out of here.
Yeah, he can control time. He doesn't matter. He's one of the lesser known ones. But there is also the dark, twisted underbelly that we have discovered, and I don't want to get. I'll just. Oh man. So, a series of written documents titled "The Origins and the History," something like "The Origins and the History of the Relationship Between Humanity and Pokemon," and one of them, guys, I shit you not, is called "Original Sin." It's just crazy.
Pokemon Original Sin.
That's the game that they were planning.
I maybe. I just know that they called it. I'm trying to find.
I hope not.
Pokemon
Trying to find the
Original Sin and Pokemon First Faith.
Pokemon Genesis.
Oh my god. Jesus. I should have been more prepared because I want to read you guys like just a couple lines from it just so you can understand like how it's written.
You're reading notes from the Pokemon Bible. Like you have to you have to indoctrinate us into the faith.
Don't read too much or Nintendo's going to actually assassinate us.
True.
Don't worry. I'll only read like a little bit.
Are they taking videos down that talk about this kind of thing?
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
They're not taking down video. They're taking down like direct leaks of concept art. They haven't taken down these stories yet because it's all text, you know.
Gotcha.
Okay, one of them is called Theme Original Sin, based on the current Pokemon world. That's the name of one of them. So that's cool. You know, glad we have that. The collapse of culture and relationships. Okay, thanks, Pokemon. I didn't know you were trying to say stuff about that. Yeah,
they are.
And there was a time when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was blurred. So, look, you know where this is going. We're gonna talk about Typhlosion, okay? We got to talk about Typhlosion and what has happened with Typhlosion. Human-like ways of thinking. All right, thanks. Oh God. So essentially, the synopsis, real quick. This is the meme one that everyone's talking about, right? Mm-hmm. But the synopsis is there's a little girl, and she ends up like hold on. Okay, so she ends up going into the mountains to gather firewood, and she's collecting all this firewood, and then she realizes the sun is setting, and literally they say there's debate. There's debate because they say little girl, like young girl, but then apparently the Japanese word can mean anyone between a 13-year-old to like a 20-year-old. So it's vague about how old she is. I know this sounds like it's some slices real bad, guys.
You're making it worse.
That is 100% like weeb justification for like no, but the legal age is 16 in Japan.
I know. I'm not the one doing that. I just know that if a Pokemon fan finds this, there's going to be that side of the community that says that because there's a ton of people that are like, well, if you look at the root of the word, it's vague. And I'm like, dude, like, come on.
It's not going to be the first time we hear that today. That's for sure.
Oh, God. She says...
There was nothing in
She
there.
says there was droppings of a Typhlosion, and it made the girl nervous. And then a man appears from the side of the forest.
Shit.
His face didn't resemble anyone in the village, but he was very handsome. This man is the Pokemon Typhlosion. He's not a man. He's the Pokemon Typhlosion. I think that we're meant to, like, the twist at some point is that he is a Typhlosion. But he's a Typhlosion. There's no indication.
The word shapeshift is specifically used at some point.
It might be, and I know that this is inspired by old yokai stories where they're shapeshifters and stuff. So he totally could be like a shapeshifter, but essentially he's a Typhlosion, and he might be a shapeshifter, or it might be a weird perception thing. They might use that word again. It's hard to read through the whole thing, but so she goes into his little home, and they hang out. And he gets food, and he tells her to stay, and he gets food, and he tells her to stay. And then the winter comes, and she wakes up with a baby in her lap, and she realizes she's given birth to the Typhlosion's baby. And then she just accepts it, and now they're a weird family of a human Typhlosion baby hybrid situation. This is real. And then the dad comes looking for her, and there's this whole stuff about how the dad is, like, gonna kill the Typhlosion, or the Typhlosion's gonna kill the dad. And she goes, if it's between the two of you, you have to die. Don't kill my dad. And he says he wants her to put his eyes, voice, and heart into the flames. So, like, remove his eyes and his throat or his heart, and burn these elements of his body with his dead corpse. And so then she goes back to the village, and all the villagers make fun of her because she slept with a Typhlosion. And that's the end of the story there. That's just one of three. That is the meme one. I think that one's a meme because it's Typhlosion. He's the most notable Pokemon in this. But yeah, so Typhlosion has a baby with a young human girl, which is just
painful. That was awful.
Just dandy. I think there's one with a here. I'm trying to send a meme. I saved some, like, a meme or two that I wanted to send here, because
that was the worst.
I think it'd be funny to put it up in the podcast. Just these images here. One of there's drawings of Typhlosion making YouTube apology videos. It's a whole thing.
That's real.
So.
He's not beating the allegations. He's not.
No, he ain't.
No, he's
his
losing.
friends ain't happy.
But
with him.
I want to mention one more because I actually think this one is worse.
Okay. Oh God.
There's a story about a guy who goes out to the beach and finds an octillery on the beach. An octillery is an octopus. It's an octopus. Just picture an octopus.
Boy. Oh
right?
God, here we go.
And it says
this
that
must be the boys.
It says that he's walking the shore, and he sees the octillery, and he says, "Let me see. I want to read the exact quote." So he said, "Where is it?"
I got this on standby. If I need to perform a lobotomy, I'm good to go.
You might have to.
This would not work for lobotomy.
You definitely have to.
The exact quote I would like to say is, "The man had relations with the octillery, then threw it back into the sea. The next day, he found and did the same to the octillery again."
What is this problem?
It's the deep. It's just the deep.
So, someone who was employed by Game Freak went into the office one day and got paid to write the words, "The man had relations with the octillery," and then threw it back into the ocean. And I just want everyone, anytime they think they can't get a job somewhere or pursue their dreams, I just want you to know that there are some idiots that are getting paid to write that. So you're probably fine.
By the most successful franchise in the world.
By the most successful franchise in the world.
Billionaires.
So the end of that story is the dude dreams about the octillery, and the octillery says, "Hey, I have your baby. I'm going to drop him off in the ocean shore where you banged me." And then the guy wakes up and there's a boy there, and then the story goes on. So,
so bad.
So I just think this is crazy. I don't know. I think it's weird. Oh, several of them mention that removing ears and eyes and nose and stuff. Several of them mention that in like not just one of the stories but in several of them, and I don't know if that's meant to be a riff on hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil or something like that, because it reoccurs in like several of them. It's very strange. It's literally like violent, it's like gory too, it's just bizarre. So I and someone got paid to do this, so this is like a professional writer. Like it's not like you found some weird 4chan fan fiction. You know what I mean? I would really love someone to analyze these, some brave soul to analyze these on like a literary level and then report back their findings, because I just want to understand why. Like, why did we do this? What was the point? Why did we do this, Game Freak? What were the intentions?
Because they're fucking.
That's
oh my god.
They do.
I don't condone or
he doesn't
support
agree. He disavows. He disavows.
You've never watched anime, so you don't know.
All right. Well, sorry. I'm done. But now you guys know, and we're all a little bit less innocent.
That is hell. I don't enjoy any of that. The one saving grace that I've gotten out of this experience while listening to all this is that I was like, we have our own like space first documents and stuff, and none of that is. There's nothing like that in there. So I'm very happy that we are,
Yeah, there's about to be though. Braden's got inspired.
No. No way.
Boyhole 10's about to take on a whole new meaning.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You plebeian. Oh man, that's hell. I didn't like hearing that. Was really uncomfortable to listen to, honestly. And I would get uncomfortable very much. So that sucked. That was not fun.
I think the Pokemon universe is a lot less innocent now.
Yeah.
And we can't deny that it's weird. And even Game Freak. There's always been
like fan things that have tried to make it more like serious, but the fact that this is a legit thing that people are thinking about is crazy.
Yep.
That's insane.
I know. No, it legitimizes it, and I know it's not canon, it wasn't put in the games, but the fact that it was ideated and they thought about it and there were discussions is all the legitimacy it needs.
They didn't get rid of it either. It was still there.
It was thought about. It was considered. They were like,
it's just been around for them to use at any time.
They're like, oh, go back and reference the weird
Typhlosion story.
Yeah, let's put that in our next game. I'm sure people will be okay with it. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. No, I'm never gonna be a Pokemon
Typhlosion,
fan.
everyone.
That cemented it in Ty's mind. He's like, you know what? I'm never doing it.
And I'm never gonna.
Yeah.
Fuck Pokemon.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man, that was not great. That was bad.
Okay.
Well, by the way, to make it, my last statement is I really meant what I said about people who think they can't write or work professionally. If someone can get paid to write this, you can. That was my takeaway. That was my positive side. If someone can get paid to write this Typhlosion stuff, you can get paid to be a legitimate writer. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, that's it. That's my thesis.
It's all good, man.
Now tell us about the new Ecto 1 HasLab.
Oh. Alright. The new Ecto 1 HasLab.
You just made us suffer, alright? Now you gotta suffer.
No, just mention it.
So we saw this coming. They were gonna do a ghost. I think HasLab is on its last legs overall, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's
a flawed. It's a flawed. It's a flawed system.
It's on the way out. The moment that they start doing these like Sentinel, and then like that big dragon guy, and you can just buy him. I was like, oh, they're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
makes sense.
So, but we knew a Ghostbusters 1 was coming because the last Ghostbusters 1 did really well with the Ghostbusters scene, and so it sold great. And so now they were like, we're going to do another one. Nobody knew what they were going to do. Rumor was they were going to do a $1,000 playset, and then they debunked it because, of course, they weren't going to do that. I don't know who shared that rumor, but yeah, it's kind of what we all expected. It's a 6-inch plasma series scale Ecto 1, and there are 2 versions of it. You can get one for $325. That is the normal Ecto one, the Library Ghost, and the Slimer, all 6-inch scale, and it has lights and sounds and moving open doors, all the works, and has a rack that comes out to put the proton packs on. $325 for that, and then or you can pay $400 for one that comes with like a lot more. It comes with like the 4 Ghostbusters from Ghostbusters 2, and then like their proton packs and a bunch of accessories for them and a bunch of extra stuff like that. Essentially, they're packing in the never made third wave of Plasma series. I mean, it's 4 Ghostbusters and then 2 ghosts and then a little Tully. You can get a Tully. It's essentially a lost wave of Plasma series. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a scrapped wave and they threw it in here. I really wouldn't. Because it really looks like it, you know? And that's sad, because if you released Slimer or the Library Ghost singly, I would totally buy them. But fortunately, in spite of all this stuff around me, I don't have the money for this, and I'm not going to be able to get it. And it's really sad, because it sounds like the perfect thing for me. I mean, you can see all my Plasma series right there. I have the entire series except Tully's Night that I collected. And this would have been a dream thing for me couple years ago, and I had more like extendable income, but right now I'm just like there's a lot more responsibility in my life. I also have a lot less space and everything, so you can see I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff recently. Just literally like this last couple weeks, I've had to just go through tons of stuff. I don't have space for this thing. I don't have the money for it. I can't get it. That being said, if you wanted a 6-inch scale Ecto 1, this is everything you could have possibly hoped for, I believe. I mean, could it be cheaper? They could always be cheaper, right? I don't know. But just a bummer, because this is like a dream HasLab, and I'm just not going to be able to get it. With that being said, if I had to pick between Galactus or this Ecto 1, I totally would have picked Galactus any day of the week. So I can take solace in that. I'm very happy with that. And if I had to pick one, which would have been the financially responsible thing, I'm glad I got that one. So, there's the X-Mansion coming out, the Lego set, that is going to be about the same price as the smaller one of these. But again, it's not a made-to-order. It's smaller. It's a hell of a lot smaller than this, because it's a Lego, you know. This thing is going to be like this big, you know. And it's just unrealistic, so I just can't. But again, if I had to pick between the two, I'd pick the one that's more space necessary, the one that I actually have a spot for, the one that's a little bit, you know, more affordable. So there you go. That's those are my thoughts on it. Yeah, Aiden has the same sentiment. He's not on this podcast, but I talked to him about it. Yeah. He's in the same spot. So yeah.
Sorry, bud.
It's all good. I was kind of hoping it was something stupid and terrible, so I could be like, I don't care about that, you know.
It's like a big like trap or something. Oh, they wouldn't do that. They already did that. But
yeah, if only this were like last year or the year before, it would have been a different situation. But
yeah,
you know,
when kind of hit during the worst time.
It.
Yeah, and I could afford it, and I had more space. Yeah, it would have. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think this next thing will probably get your hopes up a little bit more. Thatch, why don't you tell us a little bit about the random Lego Avengers Disney Plus? Oh yeah, we totally forgot we were going to talk about that, weren't we?
No, I didn't. I watched it this morning in anticipation.
Oh, it's out. It's already out.
Yeah, it came out.
I didn't know it was out. Oh, gotcha.
I'm just surprised it's like the binge like Thatch segment. It's like 3 major topics.
It was laid out like
this
that.
This is how it lined up.
So this is good. This is exciting. So they have been doing Star Wars Lego animated specials the last couple of years. Last year they did a Marvel one called Lego Marvel Avengers Code Red. And it had hero factories and Bionicles in it, and it is weird. Nobody really watched it aside from that. It had Matuma in it. I didn't Matuma. I didn't. That's not his name. His name's Tuma. But I didn't watch it. But this is essentially a sequel to that. It's like, I mean, it's not like it picks up the storyline, but it's the same format, the same kind of style, the same company. It's essentially like the follow-up, the next chapter or whatever. I don't know.
The next entry
the reason
the Lego Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Yes. So the reason I'm talking about this is because there was a lot of talk about this one though, because they have been including a bunch of random Marvel characters who have either not gotten the spotlight or never existed as a minifigure, and we didn't even know where they were planning on some asterisks. For example, the Gambit from the new X-Mansion was revealed in this before we saw him officially in the X-Mansion, and it's the same figure. And so that opened up a lot of questions, and it really looks like the first one also had a couple cameos. It had Red She-Hulk in it and a few other things, but nothing super notable. This one has got a shit ton of just crazy Marvel characters in it that are like completely unexpected. For example, the villain of it is Teraleak, the Herald of Galactus. What? Okay. The main character... Oh, by the way, sorry. It's called Mission Demolition. It's called Lego Marvel Avengers Mission Demolition. The main character is Demolition Man, who is a character in Marvel Comics. This is like their weird origin adaptation for him. So he's in it. Dazzler from the X-Men, from her... I don't know. I think it was Age of Apocalypse. I could be wrong. It's a weird specific variant of Dazzler. It's not like normal Dazzler. She's in it. There's a whole bunch more in it. The Punisher's in it. We do have a Punisher minifigure, but they haven't talked about Lego Punisher since that set. They put him in there and didn't talk about him. He's like a full-on character in this. He's owning a gym. He's like a workout guy, helping people work out. The Vision is a hyper comic book accurate Vision minifigure, which, okay. The Avengers are movie Avengers, and it's a comic book accurate Vision. And then the big one is that a big fig of the Thing is seen in this special with the Gambit. And the reason why that's significant is because we know that a Lego Fantastic Four versus Galactus set is confirmed to come out, and by all reports, it's going to be comic-based, not movie-based, which is so weird. It's also coming out in April, way before the movie. It's very strange. And the Thing is in this, and so a lot of people are wondering, does that mean that Thing figure, and this is the one from that set, and the fact that he was shown with the Gambit, who was in the X-Mansion, makes me think it might be that. So interesting. And Galactus is referenced in it. Looking at it outside of the context of Lego Marvel, like, what figures are we going to get? But more just as, like, a piece of animated Marvel media, it's really bizarre and kind of fulfilling and strange to see a complete Marvel universe represented like this, in a special like this, because we lived in an era where the Avengers were the main thing, and then Marvel didn't have the rights to the other guys, and so they downplayed the Fantastic Four and X-Men, didn't put them in anything, and it felt like we were living in a period where, like, Spider-Man was on an island, and maybe he comes over sometimes, and the X-Men, we don't talk about them, they're on their own island, and this has all of them in it. It's got Daredevil in it, Invisible Woman's actually in it, but she's invisible. Deadpool is in it at the very end, in the post at the he's in the credits. There's a running gag where She-Hulk sued him out of the special because she did breaking the fourth wall first, and then he took it. It's like a whole running joke, and then they just throw Deadpool in the credits, and he's just like, he gets like a 1 minute long sequence, and it's a new Deadpool minifigure we've never seen before. It looks great, by the way. It looks really good. And so it's just very interesting and fulfilling to see. It almost reminds me of pre-MCU Marvel media, where like Superhero Squad or these other specials or all these things, or like Earth's Mightiest Heroes would just have, not pre-MCU, but like pre-Avengers, you know, like like when the MCU became big, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking like late to that mid 2000s, early 2010s. This feels like a piece of media from that era, and is kind of, as a Marvel nerd, you know, it's kind of, especially a classic comics nerd, and I grew up with a lot of that media, it's really satisfying to see, like, Wolverine just with Iron Man and the Thing, you know what I mean? And Ghost Spider, and, you know, and Punisher and Daredevil and Ghost Rider is in it, you know? It's really cool. And the fact that they're kind of pulling off a little bit more, because if this came out in 2016, it would just be Avengers. There would be no one else, you know. Hell, if it came out in 2019, there wouldn't be the Fantastic Four in it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very satisfying to see that, and also seeing Lego be like the X Mansion set, which is, they've said, the designers have been like, it's not strictly 97 based. It's taken from the comics and the movies and everything. It's like its own thing. And then they're doing a Galactus set, which is just gonna like be comic based, and you know they're doing a lot more of that stuff. And it seems like Marvel and like Lego especially are like pulling back on making everything revolve around the MCU and the licensed main characters, and they're sort of embracing a more unified Marvel universe in this third media, like not mainline MCU, but in these additional pieces. And it's really cool. And I'm hoping that it means for Lego Marvel going forward. Also, the rumor is we're probably going to get a Baxter building as the modular next year. But if the Galactus set is comic based, then the Baxter building is probably also comic based. And if it's comic based, it might be like the Bugle, where they might just throw in Dazzler. They might throw in these minifigures, these characters who have not been in a movie or not, you know what I mean, a Disney Plus show, but are really important. And I'm hoping that we're able to sort of work towards like more comic representation, more representation of like a unified Marvel universe in media that's not the MCU. You know, I think ironically, with the downfall of the MCU, Marvel is like less on it as like their main, like everything needs to look like it, because they know it's not like as popular right now. You know, so very interesting. We're about to get a bunch of Doctor Doom shit as well, which is fascinating. I know because of the movies coming out, but I mean, you just know, and with the Fantastic Four, like, I don't know, man. Like, when I was a kid, Doctor Doom was the go-to main villain of Marvel in everything. It was Doctor Doom and Galactus all the time, you know? And we're back to that timeline, you know what I mean? So I'm excited, and I know this is a silly special. They turned Galactus into a vacuum cleaner. It's really stupid. There's a really good joke in it. I had to say this. I know I'm talking for a while. I'm almost done. There's a great joke in it. It's kind of cringe, kind of funny. It's better than I expected, but it's obviously not like it's not like freaking Avatar letter. You know what I mean? It's like made for kids, right? But there's a joke in it where the bad guys get beat up, and like Mr. like Demolition Man like runs away, and we fade to black, and then the words 5 minutes later come up on screen, like making fun of Endgame, and it's done just all dramatic like Endgame, like with like dramatic font, and it made me laugh so freaking hard. It was great. Yeah. It was excellent.
That is fun.
So
that's fun.
It's pretty good. But again, it's really dumb. I mean, they turn Galactus into a vacuum cleaner, so it's like stupid. Terrax is just a guy named Terry that turns into Terrax. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
wow.
But it's just cool to see it. It's very fun, and I hope it means that in extended Marvel media going forward, we're like not doing this weird segregation of characters thing we did before, you know. And I don't know. We'll see. I'm hopeful. The comic book Galactus Fantastic Four set has me really, really positive. So yeah. Sorry, that's enough of that.
Okay. All right.
All good, man.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, because like Lego Marvel's been in a slump for a while, so
yeah. There's some rough things.
I think they're clawing their way out slowly. You know,
slowly. They're trying
slowly but surely. I was talking to Aiden about it, and he. Sorry, guys. Go ahead. We can go on. It's fine. Right.
Speaking of clawing their way out, Braden.
I have to. Okay. Ty's forcing me to talk about this. I was like, I can wait, and then he was like, "No, you have to talk about this because I have to make a freaking. I'm on trial right now, okay?
You are.
Because I watched a little anime that I enjoyed this week. I enjoyed it, and now I'm being persecuted for it. Okay, no. So I watched the first couple episodes of Dan to Dan, which is an anime. It is a weird one at that. And it was getting a lot of attention specifically because the animation quality is really good, the opening's really catchy, and it's a little freaking icky.
It's a little freaky.
It's a little. It might be a little. Yeah, you could use the word freaky. So I watched the first couple episodes, and it is beautifully animated. It's really entertaining. The characters are all super expressive and bouncy, and like I really like the way that the main character talks. She just is really stupid, and she just says dumb shit. I'm specifically watching the English dub because I can't stand reading subtitles. Uh, she says shit like "your peen's gone," like she just says like cringy shit like that, and it's really great. The dub is fantastic. And there's a clip where the guy is like talking to her, he's like, "You bitch," and it's just like they're so aggressive and stupid, and I
says
love
like
it.
something really mean to him, and she's like, "Talk to me," and he's like, "Bitch."
Bitch, yeah, it's great. It's really funny. It's been really funny so far, but basically the anime is about a girl who comes from a psychic family or like a medium fam, like a ghost believing family who doesn't believe in aliens, but she meets this guy who does believe in aliens but doesn't believe in ghosts, so they dare each other to go like discover the truth or whatever. They both do. She gets abducted by aliens. He runs into a ghost in an alleyway that wants to suckle his dong or whatever.
What?
Like
That
she's literally like
they
she's literally
I hate
no,
that
okay.
you
She
chose the
said
word suckle.
she specifically says, "I'll let you suckle my teats if you let me gobble your dong," and he runs away, and she's like a scary evil grandma with like yellow eyes, and she chases
Yeah.
him and she possesses him. Uh, the girl gets abducted by aliens, and there's a bit of a controversial scene there where she's tied up and she's in her undies. It's gross. Okay,
16-year-old girl.
I was yeah. Thanks, Ty. But as we established, they could have relationships with Pokemon, so it's fine.
This is your
What?
Typhlosion. This is your Typhlosion stance.
Alien?
Really?
No.
Doesn't the guy like race the grandma and she steals his penis?
I mean, they don't show it, but yeah, they imply it. Like that's
Well,
what happens.
That's what
The
happens
grandma,
in context.
yes, the grandma takes his penis and balls away, uh, so he's got no wang, and he canonically can't
He's
piss.
just a
I don't
Ken
think.
doll now.
Yeah, well, I think he might have his balls, but yeah, I know for a fact that he can't piss. He can crap, but he can't piss, because that's a whole plot point in the third episode. Is that he's like, I need to take a shit the entire time. It is a stupid show. Okay, she gets abducted, and then she awakens like psychic powers, and she's in her underwear the entire time. It's really the aliens have like weird robot wangs, and they're like it is bizarre. It is an insane series, but it is extremely
penis-focused show.
it is. The aliens want to take the private parts. I don't know why. Uh, I will say, stupid as all hell, but it is ridiculously entertaining. I have not been. Well, I will admit, episode 3 was a little bit more on low key. It was more so about introducing the grandma character, who, of course, is 80 years old and looks like a hot, like 20-year-old, of course. With obviously, but there were still some good jokes. Like the way she talks is really blunt. Every character just speaks very bluntly in the show, which I like. There's no formality between anyone. They're all just like assholes to each other, which is nice. So and also that opening is fantastic. It is the best thing about the entire show. It's super catchy. I've been listening to it a lot. But I'm not going to say it's a good show. I'm not, but it's well made. It's very entertaining. I really want to know where it's going to go because I don't know anything about the manga, so I'm curious. I'm following it weekly. I'm probably going to wait to talk about it till it actually finishes, though. I don't think I'm going to keep up with it weekly because it is bizarre. But I just figured it's something I kind of want to talk about because it's weird, it's wacky, and it's silly. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll let it slide.
Okay, all right. What was that? Huh? What was that?
I said good lord.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. It's been a crazy episode.
It's a controversial episode.
It is a very controversial episode. I'm gonna have to censor a lot of things.
Yeah. Moving on, Agatha episode 6 came out, and I accidentally spoiled something for Thad earlier.
It's okay.
My bad.
It's okay. I understand.
He's mad. He's red.
We haven't actually gotten to talk about it yet, so I forgot that I wasn't the only one watching it.
Yeah, I'm going really slow here, so I'm just going to turn off my camera for a bit. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
want to talk. I want to engage with you on this topic, but if my
Okay.
internet is going balls
You're
slow,
fine
I'm
on
gonna.
our end.
Yeah, it hasn't been a problem.
You guys have been like super glitched out for me. It's really
Yeah.
annoying.
Okay.
Yeah. Um.
So
Well, Ty, you take the lead,
six.
and I'll respond.
Yeah, episode 6. So it's essentially Teen's origin episode. We meet him as this, I think, little Jewish kid who's going through, his daily life. I think he has his bar mitzvah.
Yeah, bar mitzvah.
Yeah, I was skipping through because I just really didn't care. Um, but
I want the notes.
he he goes through he's like at church or whatever, and then he goes through his bar mitzvah, and then he talks to the psychic, who is one of the coven witches earlier in the show, but this is the earliest point in the show so far. So he met her beforehand, and she is the one who makes the sigil, and then he leaves. And on their way home, it's during the Westview incident, so the big red hex dome is off on the horizon, and it's like they say it's coming down, and then like a wave of energy hits them or something, so they get into a wreck, and he dies, just dead. He gets hit, like his car door gets hit by a tree, and he's dead. So as the dome's coming down, Billy's spirit, I guess, possesses Teen's body, and so he gets a second chance at life, essentially. However that works. And then, so he has amnesia. He doesn't remember being Billy or being Teen. And so he sort of goes through his new day-to-day, gets out of the hospital. His parents are like, he has like psychic powers, so he can hear all the worries that his parents have, and he gets like really overwhelmed and yells at them. Time skip a bit. He's like adjusted to this life of pretending to be this kid that he's not. He has a boyfriend, and then he's like looking into witches and Westview related stuff, and he tracks down Ralph Boner on like Reddit, and they meet up in a parking garage. And Ralph Boner's like totally schizophrenic, like just absolutely lost his mind, looks like a wreck. Apparently Agatha like it's like they had a divorce and she took everything, because she's got the house and she's got all his stuff,
His Blu-ray.
yeah, his Blu-ray collection, which he's real
I've
sad
never
about.
related to a character more than he said that.
A Blu-rays. No.
So he's just like really sad, and he's like, she'll mess with your mind, man. And apparently it's confirmed he's the one who killed their dog in WandaVision. Agatha made him do it, and he buried their dog in his backyard.
No, he's literally like, they make you do things. They make you poison a dog and kill it. It's screwed up, man.
It's so stupid. And then he tries to sell them tickets to his comedy show or whatever, and they leave. They go back home, and then Teen, or Billy, I guess, decides to go to Westview because he wants to find Agatha. Then we get Billy's perspective of the first episode, breaking into Agatha's house, casting the spell on her. She's like a total idiot. She's got like the tip of like a garden hose nozzle as her pistol. She's wearing a shirt that says Boner Family Reunion.
I want that shirt so bad. I want it
because
so
he's Ralph
bad.
Boner, and she's living in his house wearing his clothes.
I want it so bad. I want that shirt. Like, oh my god.
So he casts the spell, and then we chop, cut forward. She wakes up. She gets him out. Recap of the first episode essentially. Then we cut back to modern day. On the Witch's Road, and Agatha just crawls out of the mud pit. Didn't do anything to her, but apparently it supposedly killed the other two witches. And so she has a conversation with Billy, who doesn't have the tiara anymore, randomly. And they discuss their next steps, essentially. Like, she says that he needs her, and he's like, no, I don't need you, but I do. And I want to find Tommy. So they're going to proceed forward. And the other lady, the Green Witch, she's missing. We haven't seen her since or before the end of the last episode, so she's somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the episode.
So, in my opinion, I haven't been able to talk about the show at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been on the podcast. Well, yeah, and I think didn't I talk about like the first episode or something?
You did, yeah. I wasn't on that episode.
Yeah, it's been a weird torch that's been carried and and traded. I think, in my opinion, one of the big reasons why I watched this show, and I think honestly the explanation, because we always knew Teen was Billy, right? Like,
yeah,
come on now, there's no way. Right. Like everyone knew if he wasn't gonna be Billy, that would have been worse. If he was gonna be like whatever William Scratch or whatever his name was, I think people would have been really, really pissed. You know what I mean? I don't think that would have gone over well. So I think the whole show has kind of been building, in my opinion, towards how the hell is Billy alive? You know, what is going on there? Like, that's kind of been the big thing. And this was the episode. I'm glad they dedicated. Some people are mad. I mean, I guess if you don't like Teen as a character, I could see it. But I mean, I don't know if this is the common opinion or not. I don't really engage in discussion like on the internet really anymore. But he's been my favorite character the whole time. So I was like totally fine with the whole episode about him. But I think, you know, that question of like how, when, where, and why, I think is really important. And I think it made sense to do this episode for him. I think honestly, I would have been underwhelmed if it was like a hand wavy, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? Now, I'm curious, Ty, the answer to that question of how that happened. Are you satisfied by that? Do you have any issues with it? What is your thoughts on like how they justified it?
I don't necessarily have any issues with it. It does feel just kind of hand wavy, like, oh, we need Billy. He possesses a dead kid. Like, but there's no reason his spirit should exist, for one, because he was a construct. And there's certainly no reason his spirit should be able to leave the Westview bubble, as far as I understand, because that's the confines of where he exists. But whatever. Yeah. It is what it is.
I think there's some weird... I think the way that WandaVision treated the twins, and then the way the twins have been treated post-WandaVision is incongruent. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, even in Doctor Strange, they have like the twins like carved into stone. She goes to a parallel universe where they just exist, which I guess is possible. But, yeah, but it still feels weird. So I feel like, WandaVision was very much their constructs, and everything else has been like, oh, maybe there's some more sinister magic going on. But I think that it could have gone a lot worse. So I'm fine with it. I think you're right. It doesn't really make any sense. I just think it could have been a hell of a lot worse. So
it is the explanation of least complication and least resistance.
100%. Perfect way to put it, my friend. Perfect way to put it. So yeah. And of course now it opens the door to Where's Tommy? And I wonder if the show is going to tease that or not. But we'll see. The one thing... how did that... Yeah, again, I'm curious about all of these things. And in the comics, they're twins, but I don't think they're identical twins in the movies. I don't think they are. So it'll probably be a different actor. But man, we haven't had a good speedster in the MCU for a while, you know. So I hope we get one. And then the Ralph Boner of it all. I've a very complicated relationship with Ralph Boner because I was so sad that he was not like a multiverse thing. and that was before multiverse shit was like real in the MCU. You know what I mean? Uh, and then he was just some guy, and I was like, wow, what a weird coincidence that there just so happens to be a dude who looks exactly like Quicksilver in another universe, but isn't Quicksilver in this. I mean, I know it's possible, but it's weird. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't counteract anything. It's just strange, you know.
Yeah.
But I kind of like what they've done with Ralph Boner, to be perfectly honest. I think he's pretty funny. So whenever he shows up, it's kind of like seeing an old friend from high school that like you were never best friends with, but was just this weird guy. And maybe in high school you were like, I don't really want to talk to that guy, but now you see him and you're like, oh, you know what? It's that guy. You know, he's weird, but you know what? I'm glad he's still around. You know, I'm glad he didn't fall off a bridge. You know, so apparently he's gonna be in another thing. That's the rumor.
Huh.
This isn't the end of Ralph Boner. So
God damn it.
we'll see.
Fucking stupid.
My theory is Wonder Man. My theory is Wonder Man. But we'll see. I've no real reason for that.
Supposed to have a show.
It's been shot, dude. It's filmed. It's like it's so weird. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. Those are my thoughts on it. But,
yeah. Like I like Teen just fine, or Billy just fine. So far his characterization in the show has been fine for me. I had to look up her name. I thought it was Rio. It is. Aubrey Plaza's missing character. She's my favorite character in the show so far, so I'm more interested in learning more about her. But obviously the main plot is Billy. Where's Tommy? So I am interested in looking forward to seeing how that plays out. So we got 2 more episodes left, so we shall find out.
I'm curious. I know the Rio thing was spoiled for me. I know exactly what's going on with her. Will not spoil it for you, but I'm very curious to see what you're going to think. So curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Moving on. Penguin episode 4 came out, and it's the mid-season climax essentially. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess to recap real quick, there's not as much that happens. We pick up where last episode left off. I wanted to call him Teen. Vic crashes into the Maroni guy, gets Penguin out of a sticky situation. It is revealed to Sophia that Penguin murdered her brother. She calls her therapist, essentially, for help. And then we get her time in Arkham, what happened to her, the horrible stuff that her dad put her through. Because she's realized that he murdered not only her mother, but it was just like we saw in the Batman, was a serial killer who just strangled women all the time. So she gets put into Arkham, framed for that. Arkham is the fucking worst place. It's awful, and everyone seems to be on Falcone's payroll, essentially. Like, there's an assassination attempt, and she's being tortured. So we go through that, and then she, at a point, Carmine pays pays the judge off so she doesn't get a trial, and she just snaps and presumably murders an inmate that she believes to have been spying on her for the doctor that's been torturing her. Then we cut back to the modern day, and she interrupts her uncle's birthday dinner, gives a fantastic speech, and then we cut to her absconding with one of her family member's daughter, the only child in the Falcone household, taking her off to the green room, essentially. And they spend the night there, and then we find out why. It's because she gassed the entire house. So everyone's dead inside. She's just like walking through with the gas mask on, like skipping and jumping for joy and opening windows and like airing the place out. just having a great time. Everyone's dead except for Johnny VT, the one guy I wanted to die because I don't like his face. His face is just weird. He looks fake.
Okay.
But she wakes him up and she has plans for him, I guess. I don't know why she needed him specifically of everyone, but she's on the warpath. She's going to apparently try to take down the Maronis and try to murder Ozcab. So it's very exciting.
Funnily enough, these 2 episodes are the same kind of thing. They're like a prequel episode about the backstory of the other second main character that then explains, and then it ends. And it's interesting. I didn't realize that until you said it, and I was like, damn, they both did one of these episodes.
At the same time.
At the same time. I don't know about you, man, but this rocked. This is so good. This is so good.
Really fucking good.
Dude, it's great. It's so good. I think I heard that on like IMDb it's like one of the highest rated episodes of television in like recent memory, which is awesome. It's great. It's so good. It's just they killed it. It's my favorite episode by far so far.
Oh yeah.
I've loved them all. I've liked them all, and then this one was like amazing. So
it's so well done. I don't know his name, but the replacement actor for Carmine, because of scheduling conflicts. Yes, they couldn't get the previous actor. I'm so bad with names right now. But
John Turturro,
he did good. John Turturro, yes. They couldn't get John Turturro, so they got Mark Strong instead to play a much younger-looking Carmine. He did great. Sophia's actress is just killing it. She's been killing it the whole time. She's incredible this episode. And just tragic story of what happens to her.
Yeah. They shoot.
I kind of don't want Oz to win. He's an actual just fucking asshole, and this poor girl has had her life ruined and been driven insane. But I know Oz is gonna win because he's the main character.
You know what's great? Watching the show is like, oh, this is how you make this a story about a bad guy. Like, he's still a horrible person. They don't need to make him a good guy for us to like him. You can make a compelling story about an undeniable villain, and it's fine.
About an actual scumbag, yeah.
Yes, and you can make it interesting. And I do also, dude, Sophia's like a new character, or she's not, even if she's in the comics, she's not anything like this.
She is in the comics, and she is actually a serial killer in the comics.
Interesting. Well, they have turned her into like an amazing like Batman universe like female like character, and I just think that's so. She fits in my mind so well with like Poison Ivy and Catwoman and even Harley Quinn. Like it's even, I know that she's not a Batman villain really, but she just has the same like, I don't know, like you can almost understand where they're coming. You understand where they're coming from, and they're way more sympathetic. And I don't know, it's crazy that
she has the gravitas to her to be a supervillain.
Yes, absolutely, yes, very cool. She's like, obviously everyone's like, wow, she's kind of like the real main character of the show, and it's like, yeah, she kind of is, but that's fine.
She's probably gonna die, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I would love to see her be in more after this because she's super, super great.
My theory is that she's either gonna die or go back to Arkham. That's my theory.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. That would suck because
I know that would probably be worse. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's no happy ending for this character, so. But Oz will get his happy ending, that's for sure. Fucking
until the opening of Batman 2, where he gets his ass kicked.
Where Batman punches his testicles back up inside his body.
He's got like warped balls, like his leg or whatever, or like his foot or whatever.
He only punches one of the balls in there, so he really is you.
He turns into Braden. Yeah.
Wow. Are you saying this is the Brayden Adams origin
It is
story?
the
Is that
Brayden
what you're?
origin story. It's true.
Damn.
I'm fully expecting the last episode for someone to be like punching Oz in the face several times, and every time he punches it, it like CGIs slowly into Brayden's face.
Anamorphs into Brayden.
Yeah.
Does he get younger?
He
Is that
punches
the
him
idea?
pretty.
Yes, he does.
Because I'm
Yes.
objectively prettier than the Penguin.
Yes,
So,
You are.
100%.
You are. You are.
So like he punches
Unquestionably.
me beautiful. He punches him beautiful. There.
Mhm.
I say beautiful,
does.
but yeah,
That's
that's
fucking
humbling.
great.
I haven't had any idea what you guys have been talking about for the last couple episodes, so I've just been like,
Yeah, you've been tuning it. You've like 6 times during this conversation. You've just
the
taken
dog's
headphones off
the
and walked
dog's
away.
doing crazy stuff. To be honest,
The dog's doing crazy.
he
What's
is.
the
But I
dog
want to
doing?
do it now with the stuff that I haven't seen it, as opposed to what we're about to talk about, which is something that I have seen, and I am very aware of what's been going on. So yeah.
Yeah, Penguin's great. We've only got we've got 4 more episodes because it's an 8
We're at the
episode season.
halfway point. How
We
cool is
are.
that?
2
They don't need
episodes
to.
left in Agatha, 4 episodes left in Penguin.
They don't need to put a bunch of filler in the show to make it interesting. You know,
Yeah.
they can just make a good show.
Great show, fantastic. All right, moving on. Speaking of a fantastic, great show, Brayden, you watched it first, so why don't you tell me what's up with Vox
Okay,
Machina
real
episode
quickly,
7 and
Ty.
9?
Real quickly, Ty, I gotta ask. I just gotta know, how close is this to the campaign?
Very different.
Okay. Is it because of one particular reason that you and I might know about?
Several differences.
Okay,
so
but
we
the
do we
big
wanna,
thing.
Do we want to run through it?
Well, yeah. I'm not gonna run through it because I'm gonna get a bunch of things wrong. But
so episode
yeah,
7.
I'll just
we
go ahead.
we pick up after the attack on Whitestone.
Mm-hmm.
The party Percy is investigating, and the
Mm-hmm.
party is sort of dealing with the fallout of that. Percy discovers a clue left behind by Ripley, who was apparently in the castle at one point during the attack.
Mhm.
and
Stealing
knows
magic stuff.
stealing their main export, which is the Whitestone,
Right.
the thing that the city's named for.
Right.
And he realizes that it must be holed up on this island. So the party goes to said island. There's some developments with Vex and Percy's relationship, and as they are going, Percy says that he loves Vex, and Vex just kind of walks away. She doesn't know what to say at that moment in time. They set off a trap and are gassed with like basically a fear toxin, essentially. Percy's dragged off to be confronted by Ripley in her base, while Pike has to wake everyone up because something about her blood is special. I'm not sure what that is because that's not from the campaign.
Well, she can't heal people, right? That's a big thing. It's not working for her.
We'll get to
Everlight.
it later, but her faith has also not from the campaign. She's lost faith, essentially.
Okay.
So I don't know where that's going either. So she saves everybody, and the party has to go and try to save Percy while he is fighting Ripley and her goons. Easily takes out her goons. But Ripley gets fucking weird shadow arm because Percy destroys her robot arm. She had actually 2 arms. She gets 2 arms, and she's like dual wielding shotguns on one side and a pistol on the other side. She's fucking sick. And they have just an epic confrontation. Percy, there's a fake out where Percy gets shot, but he's got a metal plate in his shirt. And then he takes it out and tosses it, and then he offers sympathy and redemption to Ripley, and instead she shoots him again and kills him.
As expected.
So, in the campaign, Percy does die when fighting Ripley on the island.
Okay.
But he's very quickly revived, and they murder Ripley. She does not get away.
This is before they fight Thordak, or
Before, yes.
okay, okay,
So
interesting.
all different.
Yeah.
Ripley gets away in this, and Percy is dead for longer than around.
hmm
So they leave. They have a funeral for Percy. Everyone's in mourning. Vex is the
Scanlan
most
comes
broken
back.
up. Scanlan comes back, and he's very broken up about it because he failed the team. He was gone. He should have been there. Second episode.
That's how it started, and then they're like,
That's how the second episode starts.
yes, and then they're like, oh, we gotta get the arm, we gotta get our army
Yeah.
together.
Raishan comes to Vax
Mhm.
after I forget exactly. He comes
They're
out of
walking.
somewhere.
He
Oh no,
he
okay. He and
yeah.
Keyleth get together. They
Finally,
bang. Because
finally,
he
they
sees
don't
the
show
mistake
anything.
that Vex and Percy. Yeah, they don't have like a raunchy scene like Vex and Percy did. But
Unfortunately,
they bang. He gets up in the middle of the night, gets dressed because he has like a vision of the Raven Queen, and he
Yeah.
goes out into the hallway. Raishan sort of corners him and tells him that Thordak murdered their mother, Vex's mother. He goes to tell Vex because she's packing up. She's trying to leave. So that reinvigorates their motivation, and they begin planning, gathering forces. They gather the Singorn elves and their father. They gather Cash and Zara later. They get Earthbreaker Groon and his monks, and I think a couple other people, just Whitestone and the Ashari.
yeah.
And they go to war.
Mhm.
They storm the ruins of Iman. They have this plan. Raishan told them about it, like a backdoor entrance to Thordak's lair. So Vox is going to go take on Thordak while the army distracts all the little baby dragons. Doesn't go to plan. Thordak knew it was going to happen, so he ambushes the army, and the back door is sealed. So they have to change plans. Again, not how it plays out in the campaign. In the campaign, Thordak had occupied Amon. Amon wasn't just ruins. There was still city left, and he had occupied it with an army of lizard people riding wyverns rather than having babies.
Interesting.
So it was an army versus an army, essentially.
Yeah.
And then they did actually get to Thordak in the campaign. But this, Thordak just starts decimating everyone. Vox has to double back and try to save as many people as they can. Cash and Zara show up. Cash gets a really cool moment where he summons all these fucking light spears and he's like beating the shit out of Thordak, and then he dies. Doesn't happen in the campaign, but he dies.
It was weird. His death scene was weird, man. Because
was.
He pops out because I think Vax is seeing him or whatever. It was really confusing.
Vax
It was
is
really
seeing his spirit. I was like, oh, he's dead. Oh no, he's fine. Oh no, he's very good.
Yeah. Because she's screaming. Like, why is he screaming? And you see his guts on the ground. I was like, oh, okay, he's dead.
Yeah, you see his crushed like chunks of his body on the ground, and he's standing over like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's because Vax is seeing his soul or whatever.
Vax is seeing his soul as the Raven Queen takes him away.
It's interesting.
So they fresh motivation. They need to get revenge for all the horrible stuff Thordak's done. Pike, all the while, is trying to use her armor to absorb the dragon's breath and shoot the laser beam. That's not a mechanic from the campaign, but it's for plot reasons for a show. It's for the cool visual or whatever. So a lot of fighting, and then eventually Thordak's he gets real pissed off, and so Grog and Scanlan go and smash up all the babies in the lair. And so the rest of the party has to chase after Thordak as he's trying to go see what's happened to his babies. They collapse the layer onto him, and then he comes out and he's super pissed off. So he's got all this blue fire spewing out of him, and he's going to shoot his giant, Godzilla blast. Pike runs up, rips off her holy symbol, so apparently disavowing her faith. Again, that doesn't happen in the campaign, so I don't know where this is going.
Interesting.
She absorbs the blast and fucking just the most anime moment possible.
Oh, yeah.
Shoots a laser beam through him, destroys the crystal, and then he's like, I'll be back, you bastards. And Raishan attacks him, breathes some gas on him. Then he flies up. And then Vax gets the most anime fucking moment possible. Where he flies up past him.
He pulls a Goku.
Name, and he just fucking shoots through him, and then his body falls
King
to the
Piccolo's
ground.
his ass.
Yeah. He just wrecks him, covered in blood when he lands. So Thordak is dead finally.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Battle's won. For like 10 seconds.
3 more episodes.
Yeah, well, then Keyleth's like, I should go apologize to Raishan. I've been real bitch to her. So she's like, hey, thanks for helping us. And 10 seconds later, she's like, fuck you guys. And
fuck you idiot. And
she starts, obviously, because she's a dragon. What do you guys expect? I don't know.
And then all these runes light up around the corpse of Thordak, and she teleports away. Leaving the final villain of the season to be Raishan. Also, Scanlan is hurt on the escape from the lair and is knocked unconscious, and he won't wake up. I think, again, it's weird. So in the way that the campaign plays out, when they fight Raishan, Scanlan dies, and they can't revive him until they get back to Whitestone. So for the resurrection ritual, they get Kaylee to help. In the campaign, Scanlan was made a promise to Kaylee where he was like, I'm definitely not going to die. I'll come back. So her seeing his dead body was a breach of trust for him, for the party. So that's why he leaves the party afterwards. Gotcha. We've done the leave the party thing. But I think we're probably going to do it again because I think him being unconscious is replacing him dying to not undercut the importance of Percy's death.
Right.
But Percy's still going to come back at some point. So...
As far as you know.
Why? Unless they're going to change the entire
everything.
Series.
Yeah.
He has to because he gets his happily ever after with Vex. So yeah, it's super interesting. So many changes. I was not expecting Percy's death to be drawn out. It'll probably be like an end of season thing.
No, dude. I was watching it and I was like, it kind of ruined the death for me because the whole time I was like, oh, he's fine, he'll come back. I had but then she couldn't heal him, or then Pike couldn't heal him, and I was like, oh. Is he actually dead? And I'm like, oh, okay. I probably should have been emotional during that scene, but the whole time I was going, he's coming back, he's fine. And then I was just like, oh, I guess he's not. I was just, which makes sense, totally makes sense. They're building up his relationship with Vex the whole time. So obviously that makes sense story-wise. I just didn't think about it like that, and I was like, oh, okay. So I have no idea where this is going. Did not expect for this war to happen now. I was shocked. I was like, there are 3 episodes left. What are we doing, boys? It is a really crazy finale, though, or not finale. It is a crazy event. It's everything you want to see out of this final battle happening. All the armies coming together, blasting. There's lasers everywhere. It's insane, man. And I love the dragons. They're so much fun. Thordak's so cool. So I'm sad he's gone, unfortunately. But I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why would Raishan need his body? Why would that be a thing, right?
That is something that happens in the campaign. She steals his corpse. We never find out because they kill her before she gets to do anything with it.
Oh, so she just takes
we
it?
never find out why she wanted the body.
Huh.
So
Well,
I have a feeling they're going to do something different with that because they've done something different with most things this season.
mm,
So who knows? Maybe we'll find out.
she's gonna bring him back as a scary corpse dragon or something. Is he gonna look like that skeleton dragon?
It's probably to cure her affliction in
Right,
some way.
right.
If I had to
So
guess,
she'd be all powerful and she could take over the world or whatever.
or something.
Guys, I don't know what you were expecting. Why are you trusting a dragon? Why are you guys trusting these people?
You
Why do you
silly
guys
bills.
trust Ripley? I don't. He gave her good faith and automatically regretted it. So I don't know, man. It's
now,
a shitty situation.
In the campaign,
Mhm.
I'm not comparing it, saying which one's better or whatever.
Right.
But in the campaign, he says, "I forgive you," and then proceeds to kill her.
Oh, gotcha. Well, that'll probably
He does
happen
it.
later.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know at this point.
Hard to say, isn't it?
Um,
But they were
Yes.
fantastic episodes. It was
yes.
it was so fun to watch. I was genuinely sitting there like I was watching it as if I was reacting to it. Like I was talking the entire time. Like, oh shit, this happens. I was like, why? Like they open up the first, or they open up episode 7 with like her flashback, and I was like, I don't give a piss. I hate her the entire time, and I still don't care. I think she's annoying. I hate her ass. I get why she's the way she is. Yeah, I hate her. She's so I want nothing to do with it. I want her to die horribly.
There is a there is a cameo in that opening scene.
Oh yeah.
To one of the main villains of campaign 2. One of the wizards.
Gotcha. That was cool.
So that's fun.
I like that episode. That episode's a lot of fun, and then the war is just crazy, and it's super large scale, and it's just it just makes me wonder, what are we gonna do for 3 more episodes? Really makes me curious. I'm glad it's surprising you. I'm glad there's changes because it's probably a very interesting experience where you're like, huh, every week.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I think whatever's happening with Pike is going to ultimately result in her being able to resurrect Percy. I think whatever's happening with Scanlan will probably lead to him leaving the party for the next season. And then Sam's replacement character will probably come in season 4. Tyrion Darrington, which is a great character. You're going to love him. And I think they're going to kill Raishan. Probably. I don't know what's going to happen with Ripley, and I don't know if Raishan's going to like do something crazy.
They'll probably be together at some, or they'll probably like team up or something. Who knows?
Maybe. Or maybe
yeah. Unless she's just leaving.
I could see Ripley, because so after the Chroma Conclave arc in the campaign, and before the final arc with the final big bad, there's sort of a downtime arc in between. So I wonder if Ripley's going to be the main villain of season 4.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe.
And then
Who
season
knows?
5 would go into the final arc.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Possible. But I don't know.
It's an entertaining show. I'm looking forward to the last 3 episodes very much. Been a great experience, and I've been really excited watching it. Yeah.
I'm glad you're so invested. Makes me very happy. When I got that audio message yesterday morning, just after I woke up, I listened to it, and it just put a big smile on my face because you were so invested.
I was, man. I was like, basically, I audio messaged Ty, and I was basically just like, I don't know what the hell's happening, and I'm confused. And I was like, because I had just finished watching it, and I was like, huh? I was in a state. I was in a fugue state.
I'm so mad. I have to wait for the rest of the episodes.
True. It's very frustrating. But hey, next week.
Next week?
Yep, next week.
Last 3 episodes come out next week.
Oh yeah.
They do 3, 3, and 3 every week, which is interesting. But it's
9 episodes a season.
12.
12.
Gotcha.
So they do 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah. So 4 weeks.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got for today.
We should wrap her up. Sorry, I'm not trying to rush you guys. I just gotta. I think I gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Braden, Thatch, who's a picture.
Yeah, it's been a cool. The rest of the rest of the
All right,
time.
my internet is so bad. Like my whole Discord has shit itself.
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry, man.
All right. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
get this wrapped up.
All
Thank
right.
everybody for watching. We are the Ultimate Geek Podcast, and we will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.